Hey everyone, welcome back to Minibike Mike's Garage and the final installment in my video series of traveling to Utah for the Great American Monkey 1000. Today's video is going to cover the final 2 days of the event, days 6 and 7. If you're interested, there are 5 previous videos that covers days 1 through 5. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did writing and making the videos.
Well, we're getting ready to head out for day 6. We have just had some brunch at the patio diner. Today is the day where we land at Camp Remington, where we have to camp out overnight. And so we don't want to get there real early, just have to stand around campground. We're hoping to arrive sometime late afternoon, early evening, get everything set up before dark. So it's like lunchtime, like noon. So we're getting ready to head out. We only got like 67 miles to go, and it's not a technical, it's just trail. It's just a road for the most part, kind of like what we did yesterday from Monticello down to Blanding. So no issues. We're just kind of going through the last little checks on the bike. Stuart's tightening up his front fender, and I think we're going to hit the road.
As we leave Blanding and head toward Camp Remington, Patrick Wells is riding in front of me at this point, and I want to take a second and just give a shout out to him and a huge thank you. For 98% of this trip, he was actually the lead bike that was following the onX map, the app that we had. And so he was the guy out front. He was the first one to see the obstacles, see the challenges. He was, had the stress of trying to find the right line, trying to keep everybody, safe behind him. And as someone who has hosted and led rides before, I understand the stress level that goes with that has, you're trying to keep everyone behind you comfortably safe. And I just want to give a huge thank you to Patrick for volunteering to be that lead guy out there in front. You're going to see us stop here just for a second. He's going to turn on his camera. Unfortunately, being the lead guy out in front also puts you in the most danger. He almost got hit twice. On day 5, a triaxle dump truck came flying around a corner, and it wasn't as close. On this particular day, day 6, we get up into the Bears Ears National Monument, and a little SUV came just roaring around a corner, dusty, dirty track, and of course, I'm a couple bikes back, but I see Pat get all kinds of squirrely, and it was actually kind of scary. It was we joked that it was nice to be able to laugh about it afterwards, but wow, was that was kind of scary for him. But he's riding his custom SkyTeam wide body build that he built from the frame up with a YX 140 and 12-inch tires, and other than some bent foot pegs, I don't think that bike gave him any issues the entire trip. And Patrick, I appreciate what you did, buddy. Thank you very much. In this section of the video, we've gone back to our normal riding order with Stuart following Patrick, and then I'm following Stuart, and Johnny is behind me. While I was editing this particular video, our text group, we got a text from Stuart, and he was in the process of watching the earlier videos, my videos and Patrick's, and he joked that with my forward-facing camera catching him from the back and Patrick's rear-facing camera catching him from the front, his entire trip on this Great American Monkey 1000 was documented, and that's quite true. If you watch most of my videos, most of the ride footage has been with Stuart right there in front of me. But quite honestly, I could not ask for someone better to be there. He has been a tremendous friend. We met a few years ago when he came to join one of my rides, and now we've ridden together. I think this makes the 5th time that we've teamed up and joined a ride, and I just couldn't ask for a better buddy to do this with. He was on a almost bone stock Ice Bear Champion. He had done the swing arm, kept speed swing arm upgrade. He had 4x10 tires, Trail Buddy exhaust, maybe a carburetor. But other than that, basically bone stock, and it did perfect. So We're going to stop here at the Arch Canyon Overlook and take a few pictures. What a beautiful sight it was. I believe I mentioned it earlier in the video, but on day 6, we are traveling through the Bears Ears National Monument. When we left Blanding, I believe we were at about 6,100 feet, if I'm not mistaken. And at our peak in Bears Ears, I believe we topped out a little over 8,500 feet. And wow, is it so much different at that elevation with all these pine. Anything above 7,500 feet, you start to see wildlife, deer, turkey, free-range cattle, those sorts of things. So much different from what you saw at the lower elevations. And that was probably the most unexpected thing for me on this entire trip, was how the terrain would change each day. Day 1 around Hanksville felt like we were on the moon. Day 2, we were in and out of those muddy washes and we were mud all day long. Day 3, we faced every size rock imaginable going to top of the world. Day 4, Lockhart Basin was again rocks, but up and down ledges and crevices. And then day 5 was that dusty gravel road from Monticello to Blanding. Just something different every single day, and that's what made it so much fun.
We've stopped. We are.
Like a
Fender washer?
yeah, well, a fender washer.
We need another washer.
a fender washer for the fender. Yeah, just pull it through.
All right. We've stopped. Stuart's fender. That front fender has given him fits this entire trip. He's tightened it 2 or 3 times. Well, finally the fender has given it up, and it's got a big hole in it. We're going to have to see if we can find a washer or something to hold it up on there, or take the fender off.
Just weld the second shock mount on?
Yeah. I'll show you here. Let me get this damn thing for a second.
See the video? Wait a minute. Jesus Christ, I can show you the fucking video right now.
There's always one smart ass in the bunch, isn't there?
So,
Hey, it's the truth. If you're not watching Minibike Mike,
so I've got this piece of angle iron
Yeah.
that it's bolted there, but it's actually welded into this plate. So I just came down off of this angle with a piece of steel and welded a bolt to it sticking out. So I just shoved the shock onto it. Yeah.
15 miles, 15.9.
Okay, I was gonna say that sounds better. Well, camp is set up for tonight. I think I've got the tent all ready to go. I think the bike is secure from falling over. It's pretty windy out here. I don't know if it's going to be windy all night. I tried to set up kind of behind this tree, this bush. I don't know if that'll help. I don't even know if the wind's coming from that direction. But I'm kind of set up between kind of this little area here. Our team is around here. I got Patrick's over here and Johnny and Stuart, and most everybody else is over there. So kind of went away from the craziness and thought maybe it might be a little quieter over here to actually get some sleep for tomorrow. Pretty easy ride today. It was 72 miles and we went up to almost 9,000 feet, 8,500 feet, 8,500 feet. Just beautiful. Went through some pines and we went through the roads were fairly simple. It got kind of windy and dusty toward the end as we kind of made our way along this ridge over here. So, but we're here. Let's hope we get some sleep tomorrow. We have about 65 miles to go for the final day back to Hanksville, but this is the end of day 6.
After getting the tent set up and campground ready to go, I decided that there was enough daylight left that I was going to change my counter sprocket. On day 7, we were going to be doing mostly pavement riding, and the ability to run at a little higher speed at a little lower RPM sounded desirable to me. So I actually considered changing both the front and the rear, but ultimately just swapped from a 15-tooth counter sprocket to a 16, and I do believe it helped. It made the ride into Hanksville much more enjoyable.
swap?
Yeah, I'm gonna at least do the front. Yeah, I'll get you. I got some wire.
Got a blown fuse.
Oh, I got an extra fuse.
It's a little tiny one though. It's not
It's not the regular kind.
yeah, it's for my charger. That's what the charger
Oh.
was earlier.
Okay, I was gonna say I got the type that goes in the little white thing, like that comes on a wiring harness.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good on that.
I would say yeah, you probably got a spare in there yourself.
Yep.
Hey man. This is a new age covered wagon.
Going for some highway gear.
Just a little bit. I think we are going most of the highway tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah, I believe so. Oh, you swapping out your sprocket?
Yeah, I'm going for a little more road worthiness tomorrow. Yeah!
Look at that!
Look at that!
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, brother.
We're gonna
Oh, we have to record this.
yeah, hold on. So Mike decided to put some highway gears on, and look what he's got.
Woo, baby!
Let her rip.
I've already got it tight.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right.
Here, just for video. Yeah.
Now you know why we brought that.
Yeah, watch out. Don't keep.
Oh, is that yours?
Yeah, that's fine. You're fine. You heard it. Well, do I change out the rear or just go one tooth on the front?
I think one tooth on the front's going to give you a big advantage.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It can't, I would have made it with the other one, but this will be a little bit better. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'll just stick with that.
Yeah, I forget what the ratio is, but they say, it's something like for every one tooth on the front, it's equal to, like three
on
teeth
the back or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that.
I don't know if you want to use this. Oh, I don't need on there that.
I think he's kidding, but yeah, a friend of mine I was camping with, he's got a Starlink system, something like that, and he just brings it out, sets it up, he's ready to go.
We use them at work.
Well, he's got it from work.
Hey, the Craftsman game.
It came out,
I
baby.
got it on video.
That's awesome.
We could have saved those.
I'm going to take a quick walk around of Camp Remington, and you're going to see the Adventuremen's Guild. When we reached camp, they had provided each rider with 1 gallon of water and 1 gallon of fuel. So that's what you're seeing in this location. Guys are grabbing their water and refilling up with the fuel for the last run into Hanksville, because obviously out here where we're at, there was no 7-Eleven, no Circle K, nowhere to get fuel.
Fuck, I'll be cold, but I'll be hot. You know, like on a little Minibike. You get a pan of them like flying by and then shoot like a low shot of like you and T-Right sitting on your bikes and they just go flying by and then you guys fire up the side.
Try it. Here it comes.
Square is better than hard.
Hey! Give her hell! Give her hell! Give her hell, Mike! Yeah! Woo! There we go!
Good morning, everybody. This is the final day, day 7 of the Great American Monkey 1000. We just spent the night kind of out here in the wilderness. Hopefully you've all been following along, you know that this entire 7-day motorcycle trip, we've been following the adventures of a fictional character named Remington. And they named this campground, well, it's not campground, where we camp, this area, they named it Camp Remington. Now, I have walked a bit of a ways away from it just so that because I speak so loud, I don't want to wake anybody up. It's still no, not quite 7:30 in the morning, so I don't want to wake a lot of people up. But we only have 62 miles, I think, today. So should be fairly easy, you know, barring any breakdowns or anything like that. We had a good night last night. I never got a final count. I'll have to see if I can ask one of the guys how many of the 45 original riders are still with us. I know there were, we had a broken leg, we had some broken ribs to a couple different guys. A guy broke a hip socket or something. I don't know. We've had all kinds of things go on. So I know we don't have the full 45 that took off a week ago with us. But they brought out a propane campfire type thing, fire pit, because there's no open burning right now, I guess, in Utah. So they couldn't really do a campfire. But the Adventuremen's Guild has this ceremony where the first time you participate in an event with the Adventuremen's Guild, you strike your own coin, and it's got the Adventuremen's Guild logo on one side, and then it's got a little saying, and it's what is it? Man is nothing else but what he makes of himself. And it's Jean-Paul Santry or something on the back. Sorry, I don't know. Anyway, so that was kind of fun, kind of a copper clad thing that they bring, and then they've actually got a fixture made to a big log stump that they carry around, and they got a 22-pound sledgehammer, and you whack the top of this thing and to stamp that onto that. That's pretty cool. And you carry that with you. Neat thing is if you run across somebody else in the Adventuremen's Guild at some point, say at a bar or whatever, and they challenge you, and hey, I need to see your coin. If you don't have it on them, you got to buy their drinks. So I'll put it in my wallet. It's kind of neat. You know, sometimes you just gotta, I'm gonna move my hand in front of the camera because my arm is getting tired here, sorry. Sometimes in life you just need a little bit of a challenge. I'm not trying to get philosophical or anything like that because that's not me. But for me personally, I need to be pushed every once in a while. Not all the time. You know, I don't need constant challenges in my life, but the older I get, the more I feel like I still need to prove that I'm younger. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I need to prove to myself that I can still do it. This is an event that will tell you what you're made of. That's for sure. Speaking with everybody that has done multiple Great American Monkey 1000s, this might have been the toughest terrain. I think they did Montana and Colorado, and they each had their own challenges. You know, but this one was pretty tough. So anyway, my arm is killing me from holding this camera up. Thing doesn't weigh anything, this phone, but holy cow, my arm's getting tired. Mother Nature said, you know what, you've got a nice easy day today, so let's just throw in some wind, and hopefully it dies down a little bit. We're going to leave in about an hour, I think, sometime 45 minutes to an hour. So I don't know that all the guys are up yet. So I'm all packed up on the bike and ready to go. Camp Stuart, he's got his, is that jet boil? Is that what that's called? Yep. He's making his morning coffee. I think Johnny's all packed up. Pat's over here working on getting his put away. Those are obviously very popular. I saw multiple of those last night. Guys heating up those, you know, different meals and stuff. What do they do? Just heat up the water and then just pour the water in that bag and eat it right out of the bag? Is that how that works? Yeah.
It's a different company. I forget.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, maple something.
Fire maple.
Fire maple? Yeah.
How many cups of coffee does that make?
That'll make
couple?
like 2 cups.
2 cups? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's enough to reconstitute one of those dehydrated meals if you have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Pretty neat. And you carried that on in your pack someplace?
It was in the one of the saddlebags down the bottom.
Yeah.
Because it all just, you know, it all fits inside that pot.
Yeah. Oh, it all fits
gas
inside
can
there.
And everything just
Oh.
fits down in that pot.
Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I know curious minds are going to want to know, what are you drinking? I mean, what kind of what's
this is Starbucks Premium Instant Dark Roast.
Dark roast? Okay.
It's actually, if you read the fine print, it's made by Nescafe.
Okay.
Under the Starbucks label, but what they do, it's freeze-dried coffee, and they actually put like pulverized coffee beans in there. So not like the coarse coffee ground you get to make your regular coffee with, but it's ground real fine like a powder, so that it's like you don't get that instant coffee flavor with it. It actually tastes like fresh brewed coffee. Yeah,
well, cool.
It's pretty good. I mean, as instant coffee goes, it's pretty good.
I knew as soon as I posted it, somebody was going to comment, well, what kind of coffee, what flavor was he drinking? So that's why.
Yeah, it's just dark roast, but you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried a couple different things before coming on the trip, and this one
that hit the spot, huh?
Out of the bunch, it's the best of the worst, I guess you would say.
Okay, all right. Well, awesome. Thank you.
The ride on day 7 was relatively easy. As you can see here, we're on a dirt road, and we do this for 11 or 12 miles until we hit pavement, and then we've got like 50 miles on pavement into Hanksville. What made this particular day fun, for me anyway, was the fact that John joined us as we left Camp Remington. I was unaware that he was going to show up, but probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes before we took off, I saw his Jeep roll in, and that put a smile on my face. We were able to finish as a team. He followed behind us, and we rode all the way into Hanksville, and we finished what we started. My hat's off to John for making this an adventure different from what he thought it was going to start out as. If you've not seen the videos, previous videos, John was injured on day 1, fractured some ribs and hurt a knee and was not able to continue. He got a ride back to Hanksville for himself and his bike and was able to get to his Jeep. And then he met us at basically at the end of each day in whatever location that our destination that we were landing at that day. He was there. A couple days he was able to follow us. And on this particular day, he did that, which was fun. But you know, instead of just packing up and going home and calling it quits, like I said, John turned this into still an adventure that he could enjoy. As he followed along, other teams scavenged parts off of his bike. He hauled some gear for some people. You know, he just, like I said, he made it his own, and my hat's off to him for sticking with it and finishing with us as a team. That truly was an enjoyable moment for me when we all rolled into Hanksville and he was with us. As we head into Hanksville for the final stretch on day 7, I've got one final teammate shout out, and that's to Johnny from Nevada. Johnny was the one teammate that none of us had met prior to the event. As I mentioned earlier, I've known Stuart for a while, and we've done multiple rides together. Patrick I've known for a few years, and I've been to his place, he's been to mine. John I met one time prior. He came to Indiana in April of 2025 to participate in a spring ride I was hosting, along with both Stuart and Patrick. So the four of us had spent some time together, got to know each other. But Johnny was that unknown. None of us had ever met him, so we really didn't know what to expect. And then a few weeks before the Great American Monkey 1000 was to kick off, Johnny injured his right arm and had to have some surgery and was unable to ride his bike. He reached out to the organizers, the Adventuremen's Guild, and asked if he could follow along with us in his UTV, and they granted permission to do that, which I'm extremely thankful for. I can say this with 100% confidence that we would have struggled way more on this adventure had it not been for Johnny and his help. Even though he was limited to just one arm, his positive attitude, always being there to lend the one hand he had to push a bike or pull a bike or whatever, just tremendous. He was a very pleasant surprise at how well I enjoyed his company, and truly do appreciate him being there. I will never forget traveling down Lockhart Basin, trying our best to get 3 underpowered mini bikes through crevices and over rocks, and finally succeeding in getting the rocks to the top of the hill, turning around and seeing a Polaris UTV sit at the bottom and thinking to myself, oh my God, how are we going to get this up here? And while I'm turned around looking for hooking points for a hitch, he had a winch on the front. I'm looking for some place to tie a cable to. I hear him fire the UTV up, and what a heck of a driver he was, and came up out of there with no trouble at all. And he did the entire trip without really any help. And but anyway, Johnny, thank you. We could have pulled it off, but you made the trip way easier and for all of us, and we certainly do appreciate your help. All right, we got to get a team picture.
Odd X had us right at 62.0 miles. Okay.
What'd you have?
62.0.
I have 61.99.
So,
Yep, really close.
on.
Oh my God, that wind was something. Holy shit.
It was blowing me like another lane at some point. That's why I was going so slow at first.
I kept waiting for my engine to go pop.
Same here. A couple times mine made some noises that I hadn't heard before.
Oh, really?
And I was like, okay.
I was looking down at the pipe to see if it was glowing red.
Yeah.
Well, we did it. 7 days off-road on little mini bikes. It's what is today? Saturday morning, close to, I don't know, just before noon. We just rolled in. We're the first team to hit the base camp here in Hanksville. Team Old Guys. You guys did a great job. Really appreciate it. We were just hammered today. We did about 11 or 12 miles of a trail, and then jumped on, I don't know if highway's the right term, but major road, asphalt, and we just, whatever these little bikes would do. I think I hit maybe a high of 61 or 62 on a downhill, but yeah, we're done. We succeeded. We proved to ourselves that we could do it. We made it back.
Well, there you go. That's my adventure of 7 days in Utah and participating in the Great American Monkey 1000. I've had people ask me, would you do it again? You better believe I would. If I had the opportunity, I'd jump back on a bike tomorrow and do it all over again. I truly enjoyed the trip and enjoyed the guys I was with. I've also been asked, do I have any regrets or anything I would do differently? Yeah, probably do have a couple. The first thing's not really a regret, or I didn't have full control of it, was the fact that I injured my ankle. Now, yeah, I did down the bike, which caused it. But if you didn't see the video, I was in some really soft dirt, sand, going down a hill, and I wound up laying the bike over on its side, and it got my ankle, twisted my foot, and I injured my ankle somewhat, and that did hinder the way my ability to ride the bike the rest of the trip. If you watch the videos, I'm just kind of putting around. I think I would have ridden much more aggressively if I had been on 2 healthy feet, 2 healthy legs. But I don't, maybe it added to my adventure by being injured. I'm not really sure, but it was always in the back of my mind. Don't let the bike go down, because I didn't want to further, hamper myself. But anyway, day 3, we attempted to go to Top of the World, and that was just an exhausting, strenuous, time-consuming trail. I do not regret doing that. I think it may have added to our adventure, but I do regret that we took so long in doing it that we were not able to go down one of probably the trail I was most excited to do in this entire trip, was the Onion Creek Trail. and we didn't get to do it. I didn't make it to there because it was so late in the day by the time we got back down from Top of the World. And that's probably the one regret I have of the entire trip, is the fact that we did not make Onion Creek. It's there again, it's not necessarily a regret, but you know, you always, if you've done trips like this or any kind of road trip, not everybody, me personally, I tend to be too focused on getting to the final destination for the day, and I don't stop enough along the way to see sights, take pictures, smell the roses, whatever you want to call it. And this trip wasn't bad, but there were a couple times I thought, oh man, we should have stopped and got pictures of that or this, so not necessarily a regret, but something I might do differently. I might take more time while we're riding to make a few more stops and get a few more shots along the way. Let's see. I carried way too much gear. If I had to repack and do all this again, I probably wouldn't take, half of what I took. Parts wise, other than a bolt that we put in Stuart's shock, I don't know that we use really any parts ourselves. I wound up giving away a Kickstarter. Somebody stripped the splines on their Kickstarter. The shaft was okay on the engine, but they stripped the spline, so I had a Kickstarter for them. Somebody else needed a front counter sprocket. They were replacing a chain, and I think they had a 428 chain and 428 sprocket on their engine, but they bought a 420 chain, and so it wouldn't fit on the front sprocket. And so they were looking for one that had the 20 millimeter spline. I happened to have one, and so I gave that away. I went through a quarter oil, punctured a hole in the bottle pretty early, lost probably a fourth of the quart, and then I used the rest of it either in the engine or in the forks. But other than that, didn't use anything, all that stuff that we packed. I did have the tools out a couple different times to, tighten up bolts and do something. I'm glad I had the bag of hardware from when I lost that nut off the engine bolt. But, if I had to do it all over again, would I pack all that stuff? I don't know. I kind of look back at it and go, was I too over prepared? Did I take away from the adventure by being, spending 9-10 months building a bike? And would it just been better to jump on a bike and go and figure it out along the way? I don't know. That might be what I do on the next one. I may pack very, very minimally and just figure it out, The bag that had my clothes and snacks and stuff, I probably packed twice as much of that as what I needed. But overall, I still had a blast. Like I said, I'd do it all over again tomorrow. Thank you to John and Stuart and Patrick and Johnny for all going with me. You guys were awesome. Appreciate it. And thank all of you for turning on the videos and giving them a look. I appreciate it. If you watched them all the way through, appreciate that even more. Guys, I have no idea what the next project's going to be, what the next videos will be, but I'll see you on the next one.